But let's move on now to Chase Claypool and the Pittsburgh Steelers. 2 weeks ago, the wide receiver was advocating for more music at practice and more fun. Mike Tomlin was furious at that idea, but seeing as the team was on the brink of having, or currently still is on the brink of having its first losing season since 2003. Now again this week, he has shown some more signs of immaturity. I'm talking about Chase Claypool here still. During a potential game tying drive, in the last 30 seconds of the game, he decided to celebrate a first down instead of handing the ball back to the referee and hopefully saving some more time, giving them some more time on the clock to potentially score on that drive and maybe get a 2 point conversion to tie the game and force it into overtime. But he elected to do his little first down celebration move, I guess. And obviously the team went on to lose this game. Brandon, I want to come. Or actually, no, I'll come to you here, Jen. What do you attribute this behavior or kind of celebration to?
I think the coach hit it right on the nail. It's immaturity at this point. I mean, it just seems like he's more caring about himself than the team, which obviously all started out with Juju with the TikTok dances and everything like that. I don't think they're taking their jobs very seriously. They think they made it to the next level, and they're granted those things they should they should have. But we might have to remind Claypool that he's only into his second year, and the Pittsburgh Steelers doesn't see any progression, this season or next season. He can be easily cut. He's also not a first round draft pick at this point. So there is no fifth year contract coming in. So, he could be a bust at the end of his contract, and nobody will know his name for it in any time. And they will only remember him for all the things that he had done against the Steelers. Um, so I just think that, the Steelers should make an example this offseason and just cut him. Either cut him and trade him. He might be a talented wide receiver, but then again, I don't think the Steelers want to have another AB experiment with this, especially after going through with Juju and then Claypool. Um, you know, I think they should just take their losses and find players that actually holds on to the Steeler values, versus trying to essentially manipulate the head coach or trying to change up the tradition, because there's a reason why that tradition has lived on, with the no music and everything like that, and the coach can back it up, with winning seasons behind it. While Kate Claypool has nothing to back it up. He's essentially a rookie at this point. Obviously being a second year player, but he hasn't showed enough talent to back up with the shenanigans.
Mm. Brandon, what do you make of this whole thing with Chase?
It highlights the importance of football IQ, like understanding your situation. I don't I don't have a problem with any receiver celebrating a first down. They all do it. Everybody does it. It's knowing when to do it and when to get the ball into the ref's hands, because you need to manage the clock. And that's part of the football IQ, the immaturity that is just becoming part of the Steelers wide receiver core. Like, you have obviously Claypool, who has, you know, he's missed some of his assignments, even in the blocking game earlier in that same Minnesota game. Like, he wasn't blocking the way he should have been. And then it all obviously showed itself on the main stage when he screwed up the whole thing. And even his offensive lineman was trying to get the ball from him to give it to the ref to push time. But for some reason, he didn't have it in his brain
Awareness.
that, yeah, he didn't have the awareness of the situation. And that's the kind of thing that'll lose you games in certain cases. It's just something you need to do, and it's something you need to pick up with experience, which he should at least have an idea of it in his second year in the NFL. But like I said, he is becoming a line of this wide receiver core that has just proven time and time again that immaturity is just like the next. They just like pass it down to each other. Initially, Jin, you started with Juju, and I was gonna say it started before Juju. It started with AB, um, because it seems like there's been so much AB drama that we've forgotten of the shit that he did with the Steelers because it's just hard to keep up with all the shit that Antonio Brown does. Um, but he was, I think it was with the Steelers that he was the one like going live on Instagram in the locker room
Yep.
and causing trouble that way. And obviously, Mike Tomlin has the record to back it up. He's had every season he's coached in the NFL has been a winning season, whether it's however far they've gone in the playoffs. Like he's found ways to win in the NFL when a lot of teams haven't. So he obviously has a respect for the Steelers tradition. He has a way of moving that forward, and the wide receiver core just seems to not be buying into it. I don't know why. I don't know what's going on. But I mean, if you're a Steelers fan, it feels like you're hanging on for dear life of what feels like an imminent implosion. Like you have your wide receivers who are doing whatever the fuck they want, um, and just giving prime example after prime example of immaturity in the locker room, on the field. You have a quarterback who probably should have retired at the end of the year. I don't want to diminish Big Ben's career because obviously he had an amazing career. He's a 2-time Super Bowl champion. He was the Offensive Rookie of the Year, 6-time Pro Bowler, 2-time NFL passing yards leader, and he currently holds the record for the most 500-yard passing games. So, I mean, I don't want to diminish his career at all, but those days are done. Like he should not have come back this year. He looks like a shell of himself. It was the same thing from a Patriots perspective when Edelman came back for the last year, and he just looked like a shriveled up version of what used to be. And as a fan in the league, you want elite players to be remembered for that. And Big Ben dragging out these last few years of his body just feels like he's going to be remembered for being, he's going to be remembered more for these last few years for people who just casually tune in. And that sucks. But right now you've got your wide receiver core who are insanely immature. You've got a quarterback who refuses to quit, who has no body left for it. It I mean, from an offensive perspective, it looks like Mike Tomlin might be losing the locker room. I don't know why that is. I don't know what the case is there, but that's what it looks like from my perspective.
Jin, do you think he has lost that locker room, or do you think these are just kind of unconnected, unfortunate events with the wide receiver core?
It seems like this team is gonna get turned into the Browns of previous years when it comes to everything. It seems like everything has just like Brandon said, it's going to be exploding, and Mike and the coach Mike Tomlin has essentially lost his ways when it comes to everything.